What do you mean double?
Oh yeah, there is a double rainbow.
Double.
Get that double rainbow. Sweet. Get it. Video.
I got it.
Double rainbow. Double rainbow.
The second one is kind of like faded.
The second one's like the idiot stepson. This week, my family suffered a tragedy. I'm not going to go into it here. If you guys listen to my podcast, What Sid Thinks, then maybe you caught it there. But that's where you can get it. I'm excited to get back to work. I've let the vlog slide a little bit of late, and I am really trying to get back on track and just kind of keep it at the every week mark. And that's what I want to talk about this week, of what that delivers. But first, I'm going to head down to the Stanford Inn to see a little book signing reading. Guy named Tim, who's the Mississippi vegan. Mississippi vegan.
Our friend from Mississippi, Timothy Packron. There you go.
I first came to Stanford Inn and Ravens when I was visiting last year. And when I first walked in, I remember being like, oh my God, they have all these vegan cookbooks. And so I just thought it would be a perfect fit. So it all fell into place very effortlessly. And I'm really thankful for that. Thank you for having me. Most people do it where they have, a lot of people, the chef or the author will be so busy that they have like a ghostwriter helping them write it. And they'll have a food stylist on set, and they'll have a photographer on set. And they really kind of, they definitely write the book, but they have a lot of people helping them. And it takes a team of people. And I didn't have that.
Nice chap. Haven't checked out his cookbook, but I'm not a cookbook guy, so. Look at Mr. Sunshine coming out. Is it a Mrs. Sunshine? Mr. Sunshine? I've never asked. I always kind of felt like it was none of my business. And if not Mrs., is it Miss? I don't know if the son's married. I don't know if the son has a daughter or a son. I'm glad I went down there and got to see Jeff and Joan, so it's always fine. But is it just me, or are people getting a little over cookbooks in general? I speak at a lot of events around the country, and it's sort of like people are like, yeah, I got 15 cookbooks on my shelf and I don't use them. That's exactly how I am right now. I kind of that's why I'm so focused on the day-to-day, making it easy. Matt Frazier and my health system course thing is all about not needing cookbooks. And I think that's why people are digging it, because most of the time, I'm just too busy to have to deal with a new recipe. Most of the time. For fun, great, but most of the time, no. Yeah. So good to be home. Okay, I'm back. That was good. Good to get out. Glad to be home. Man, this week I've been more glad to be home than in a long time. I have a buddy who teaches video photojournalism at Berkeley, and he was telling me that the kids that he teaches, have a hard time with consistency, with producing, with making stuff. This is precisely why I talk about the concepts of perfection and failure. I think that if you set out to produce something consistently and say, well, I want to produce something, the questions are going to arise of, is this the best thing ever? In other words, I think that our need to make things as good as possible can sometimes get in the way, or making something so-called perfect can get in the way of actually producing the work. And I think that kids, perhaps with social media and everything else, are doing, YouTube and everything else, they're not producing as much as usual. And I get it, like you don't want to force yourself to do something and have it be potentially uninspired. But at the same time, when you produce something, when you actually get something going, when you actually just work to make something, that inspires ideas in and of itself. And that is kind of the cool thing about diving in deep on something, is that if you just sort of go like, well, I'm just gonna wait until ideas come to me, there's a good chance that life will sort of fill in the spaces of your waiting and your carpool and your commute and your job and your taxes and your frickin' budgeting will get in the way of ideas even getting through. When you set to dive into something, when you say, well, I'm gonna produce something, ideas come out of that. The best thing we can do is say, well, I'm gonna produce regularly. That doesn't mean that you have to, everything you produce you have to put out into the world, but the process of getting anything you wanna do on your radar is what will make long-term change a possibility. Getting it on your radar. And here's the weird thing for me. I can even extrapolate this to like nutrition and fitness. That is about what I talk about with my small steps and everything, which is getting something on your radar. How powerful it is to just have something be a part of your life. And that's when other stuff opens up. So these kids that are, trying to be photojournalists, video journalists, people who are filmmakers and are waiting for that surprise job to come through instead of making films, that is how other ideas come. That's how you get better at what you do. You have to do it. It is 99.9% about action.